Hello, this is Trevor. Today we're working on an XSS lab. This is the second lab in the cross-site scripting available labs. It is a stored XSS in HTML context with nothing encoded in the comment functionality. So to solve it, we need to pop an alert box when the blog post is viewed. All right, well, that sounds simple enough. Let's check out the lab. And we have a blog with a bunch of posts. Let's go to the first post and try out a comment. So I'm going to try out, like I kind of always do, is something pretty innocuous, and that's the bold tag. If any tags were allowed, this is probably it. I'll just put a blah@blah.com website. We'll leave that blank. I don't know. It said it's in the comments, so it's not in any of these. Back to blog. And you can see that is definitely bolded. Perfect. So that's where our exploit is going to be. It looks like we're going to have to fill out a form. So we're going to have to visit a specific post, fill out a form, and then submit that. Let's see if there's a CSRF token on the form. There is right there. So we will need to grab that. We also need to make sure that we have a post ID. All right. Well, that seems simple enough. Let's just validate everything. Let's do another one. Payload here. Let's put Bob. Email bob@bobber.net. And no, well, let's put HTTP just so we get the full w.example.org. So we get the full thing. Let's go to our post. We'll send that to repeater. And then I'll send it again. 302 foot found. So I wonder if it did. What's the response? Response when it's a success is this. I don't know if our repeater one worked. The reason I don't know is because it gave the same response, but you notice how we did not update the CSRF. So I don't know if the CSRF token was being validated. Because we're going to have tons of exercises on CSRF, I won't actually go through testing it now. That'll just make this video be longer than it needs to, and we're going to test this stuff anyway later. So all I want to do is get the format of how to post so I can write that in our code and see what we have. We do have a session. So let's do in our code. We need to create a script. What is this called? It is called HTML context nothing encoded. Isn't that the same HTML context? Yep, it's the same as the last one. I don't know what 2 is. cat2. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna rm2. I must have messed up somewhere. And then let's move the first one so that it's reflected. And then, oh, man, one day, I'm never going to make mistakes. Reflected. And then we're going to create a stored context nothing encoded.py. We are going to pull up our template and start with this. We're going to create a blog equals blog args.url args.no proxy. Right here, we're going to change this from shop to blog. Same there. Instead of blot, it should be blog. We are going to create a session equals request.session. And we'll give that here. We need to decide what post ID. So let's just save that. Post ID equals, we can do anything. Let's do 3, anything that exists. Let's start with 1. Now we need to visit that. We need to visit that page. This should be, when we visit, that should be something that's part of the blog. So what I imagine is that we have a function in here called get post, def get post, and post in this case means a blog post, not a, request type post. It'll accept the post ID, and then we'll return the response. URL equals, so we need post ID equals self.base URL plus, we're doing it pretty much exactly like we did for a search, plus post ID. And just to make sure I had that correct, yep, that looks good. We will do this pretty much exactly. This is an opportunity for us to let's do that. Because we're duplicating this code exactly, let's create a function. Let's create it in the site, not in the blog site. And we'll just call it def get response. It'll take the self, it'll take the URL, and that's it. And then we'll do this URL return response. Sweet. Now in the search, we just need to do self.get, what did I say? Get response for the URL, and this is return. So the response will be returned here, and then we're just going to forward that. We're going to return it again there. Let's write this out, and we're going to do the same thing here. Instead of searching URL, we need to say getting blog post. Perfect. Now we should have the blog post contents. Let's do blog dot, what did I name it? Let's close site so we don't have that open. Let's close template. Get post, blog.get post ID. Yep. And let's save the response. response equals. Here we want to print out this so we can look for the CSRF token, see how that's all formatted. Python stored and our this. Oh, ha. Let's just add that. So the issue is that this is an integer, and to concatenate, it needs to be a string. I want to leave this as an integer just so it's easier for me to edit and know what's going on. So I'm just going to do the string here. You know, it may be better to do it actually here. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, I like that better. Requests imported but unused. And let's just comment those two out for now. There's a good chance we're going to need those back. There's our blog post. Here's our form with our CSRF token. That's what we want to get. So what we'll want is a function, a method in our blog class called def post comment self. It's going to take a post ID and the comment. Oh, we need actually more than the comment. We need the comment body, comment name. I'm looking over here, so here's the comment, and I'm going to fill out all of these so that in the event that we have a XSS in the name field, we can still use this same function to exploit all of it. So a little forward planning here. And then, so we got name. I'll need to do email, website, and that'll be it. Website. So I'm going to set all of these to none. So that they are not required. In fact, I can just set them, instead of doing none, let's set them to an actual value. So test comment name will be Trevor. Email will be bob@bobber. Whoops. bobber.net, and the website will be HTTPS this time, www.bobber.net. Yeah, a line's too long, but when I write, I'll just show you a pass. My formatting tool is going to make that look pretty. The reason, I hope this makes sense, the reason I did all of this so that we don't have to enter anything but the post ID and the field that we want to exploit to use this function. Just makes it easier from now on. We need to get the CSRF token. So we're going to do response equals self.get post post ID. That's going to call this function. That's going to return the response. from the response, we're going to do an regex search for CSRF. So let's do pattern equals R. We need the re.compile R semicolon or single quote. What are we going to search for? Let's start here. Name equals CSRF value. That's going to be our key, and then we'll just end on at the double quote. So to put that into regex, we'll just do name equals double quote CSRF, and that space value equals double quote. Here we want our capture group. Start with parentheses, dot, asterisk, question mark, end at the double quote. Perfect. M equals pattern dot search resp dot text CSRF token equals M1. If you'll remember, the M0 will be the whole capture. M1 is just our capture group. We're searching the response text that we got here. Log.info found. We should put one here. Log.info commenting on post. Where do I, so this will still be a number, remember, from right here. So we want str of this post ID. It's probably a bad idea to keep them as numbers. Well, we don't have to. We're just protecting ourselves in case it is a number here. So found CSRF token, CSRF token. We need to import RE, import RE. And now we need to do the post. So we have a if requests if args dot if self dot no proxy requests dot post. This is what we want. We need to build the URL. We need data equals data. Do we need cookies? It's a good question. We'll try it without. And if we decide we need it, else requests dot post. Again, we'll need the URL data equals data. We'll need verify equals false. We need proxies equals utils dot proxies. So glad I didn't remove these. Definitely need them both. We need to define, and we need, do we need the response? Yeah, let's get the response just to check that we get what is expected, which is that 302 found CSRF token. We need to build the URL. Where does it post? So it posts to this URL. It doesn't post to the same URL that the blog, it doesn't post here. It posts to this, which is interesting. So let's add that to here. Self.post comment. What should we name? What should we name this? Comment post. URL, comment URL, post comment URL. Let's do that. Post comment URL equals, let's paste this and let's make it the full one. So we need self.base URL plus, remember we need to remove that. The URL is going to be self.post comment URL in both places. Self.post comment URL. We need to define the data. So data equals, we're going to make that a dictionary. The keys are going to be the same as the name. If you remember in the last form we posted, I made the comment that the names are important. This is how the backend is going to route the data. So we need to use the same names. We need CSRF. That's the first input. This is going to be our CSRF token. Next, we need post ID with camel case. This is going to be the string of post ID. So post ID, if it's an integer, we'll turn it to a string. If it's a string, this, won't do anything. It won't break or anything. So again, it's okay. So name, we're going to use this. So just name. Email, the same. Email, website. And I believe that is it. So name, email, website, name, email, website, comment. That looks good. That all looks good. Let's check. Remember we said 302. If it's a 302, I guess we can assume that it posted correctly. So if resp.status code equals 302, we'll do log.info comment posted successfully. We'll just assume that it is, and we won't return anything else. So this method won't return anything, but it will post a comment. Ooh, that was a long one. What we decided on? Now we just need to post a comment, and this one is solved. Blog.post comment. Let's make sure it works first. What do we need? So we have to provide it the post ID. We'll do post ID, comma, and then we don't have to provide anything else, but in order to exploit, we need to provide a comment. Let's do our b blah just to test that it works. Let's do that. Remember, we're posting on ID 1. So let's run this. It didn't post successfully, it sounds like. Proxy. Get post ID. Bad request. Invalid CSRF. Oh, session does not take a CSRF token. So we do need to have a session here. So when we do the get here, we need to grab the session. Response. So right here, we do the get and then session token equals response dot, I think it's cookies session. I'm pretty sure that's right. Session is the name, and I think you access it with response dot cookies. And then when we do the post, we're going to do, this is our post, data equals data, cookies equals, that's going to be our only cookies, so we can just add that there. And the same here, let's put it before the proxies. Cookies equals session token, like that. Now, let's try this again. String must be integers. Cookies, it is looking for dictionary. So session token equals cookies equals, let's just create this session token. We unable to do what I thought we were able to. So here, instead of doing session token, we're going to do change word cookies. So we defined a dictionary named cookies, and now we're going to just use that. It makes sense if I had put thought into it, because session token is just going to be the value, and really we need a key value pair with the name session. Again, we failed. So what was the deal? We did a get, we got a session, we did a missing parameter. So we at least got past this session token. You can see our cookie there, CSRF, post ID, name, email, website. We must be missing something like a submit. Where is one that we did? I don't see one that we did manually. This is on burp. Let's just create another one. Another payload here. It looks like it's actually succeeding, right? Or maybe not. Another name, blah, email, blah, at blah.com. I can't remember what those are. HTTP blah.blah.com. Post, comment, CSRF, post ID, comment, name, email, website. This is what we need to have. Let's look at what we did. Send to repeater. Paste that. CSRF post. We're missing the comment. Huh. Well, man. Like the one thing we need to exploit this. And of course, we leave it off. Comment. I'm sure some of you saw that and were like, what an idiot. Yelling at your screen. All right. Again, we do not get a log saying it was successful. That's pretty discouraging. Even though the response, oh, it's because it's, all right, we did it right. What's failing is that request is following the 302, and so it's getting like whatever is after this one, and getting a 2, so it's saying in the response is 200 because it's following. There's a way that we can tell it not to. I think it's follow. Don't allow redirects. That's what it is. So here, where's our post? Allow redirects equals false. And the same here, allow redirects equals false. Now we should get a successful, there we go, comment posted successfully. Hope that makes sense. It was just following the redirect. The redirect in the response received a 200, so this was never true. By telling it not to follow the redirects, when we get the 302, this is a success, and our comment was successfully posted. We can check that by going to post ID 1 and see all of our comments, or the 2 that worked, blah and blah, with our name, our website. Uh-oh, the beast. So let's hurry up and finish that. This one, the script. We are almost done. All we need to do is change this from B to a script. Script alert 1 end script, and then blog.is solved. Let's run that. Get the solve. Lab is solved. We go here, we solved it. Oh, we can view, we can actually trigger the XSS too. Be cool. There we go. All right, well, that is it. You see our main exploit script is super small, and that's because we were able to move a lot of the functionality that's going to be repeated between the scripts to a class. That class, we added this big post comment and also this get post to this. Post comment is pretty cool. It's going to handle the regular expressions. It's going to provide default information so that if the vulnerability is just in the name field, that's all we have to provide. If it's just in the website, again, that's all we have to provide. So I'm really happy with that. And that's it. So apologize about the dog. Perfect timing, right? If there's any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.